Alright guys, what's going on? Legendary here, back with another video. Yes. Time for Beyond and Good. Of course, I was going to make a video, but of course, Ye beats me to it. But yes. See how long this game been on, what? 15 years development. Jeez. Yeah, let's get to it.
So back in the day, there was this game you may know as Duke Nukem Forever that achieved meme status because of how freaking long that game took to make. That game started development in 1996 and released in 2011. That's 14 years of development time for this one single title. Now, there's this other game that aims to challenge that development time beyond.
And that game's trash, which
makes Duke Nukem Forever look like Death Stranding's fast turnaround, as that game has been in development for what, 15 years now, and it is still, and I kid you not, in early development, or at least that's what Insider Gaming here reports. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in early development. It seems like a joke at this point, reads the article, but several sources have reported that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in the blocking phase for the most part, with a few small areas with low resolution textures. The article continues, Insider Gaming understands that both external and internal play testing has continued throughout the summer, with some sources stating that Ubisoft has been expressing that the game is in early development to those fortunate enough to get their hands on the game, as well as internally amongst colleagues and new people coming into
also Ubisoft always had this problem with, like, most of their games. They would try to be so ambitious with one game, especially like Assassin's Creed, and they were go like, you have to play this game for like hours to finish. You have to play like freaking days and like a damn week or two just to finish the goddamn game. They all these goddamn random wait. You gotta kill this monster over here. You gotta go over here. Oh, look at this long ass race. You gotta go way over here to kill this guy. You gotta go back over there and kill that guy, and then you gotta run over here. It's like
footage of an early build of Beyond Good and Evil 2 back in 2017 or 2018, and at the time we thought, okay, maybe this game is actually shaping up to be something, but apparently the game has been rebooted since. Images and video provided to Insider Gaming under anonymity and under the condition that images don't go public suggests that the game has probably been rebooted since the pre-alpha demo walkthrough shown in 2018, as nothing seen shows the same level of detail. Basically, any footage they saw looked like the game was being played on ultra low settings. One of the last things that gets refined during game development are the visuals, because you want to set the groundwork first.
Exactly. You want to have everything like solid gameplay,
really making it graphically and visually appealing. But yeah, keep in mind, Duke Nukem Forever took 14 years to launch. Beyond Good and Evil 2, it's 15 years into development, and it's still in early development, which means it'll be a couple more years.
This is almost like Fortnite, almost when it first, like when Fortnite first started, and it was just like, oh, this is beta tested or beta testing. And but they were still updating it, but it was still in beta test for like goddamn 2 or 3 years. But Fortnite, they already had the solid gameplay down, you know, or they had the gun mechanic down. I was gonna
say, but who knows at this point, right? For those who don't know, Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been in development
they don't have the solid gameplay down,
as reported here by News Outlet GameSpot, all the way back in May of 2008, when it was reported that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is on the way. That has aged poorly, obviously. Michel Ansel, Rayman creator and man behind the original Beyond Good and Evil, has said, I'm working on Beyond Good and Evil 2. We have been in pre-production on the title for a year, so since 2007, and we're currently doing market research. But for the moment, it's still in early stages, and Ubisoft still hasn't agreed to it. But it wasn't long after that Ubisoft would not only officially greenlight it, but even announce it. Beyond Good and Evil returns, reported GameSpot back in May 30th, 2008. Ubisoft teases long-rumored sequel to
I remember seeing this trailer.
action-adventure game.
I think it was alright when they first showed it.
The tease came in the form of this trailer right here, which I'll skip around through.
Just a teaser trailer. Just teasing.
You can see right here.
Teasing the fans.
We pan into a desert, where we see the two characters from Beyond Good and Evil 1. Jade and Paige.
Paige. Freaking.
You got Jade right here. And of course, you got Paige. And this was pretty hype. Beyond Good and Evil might have been kind of niche in terms of how many people got to play that game, but you know, in the gaming realm, it's known that Beyond Good and Evil is a classic that a lot of people really enjoyed, and the sequel has been highly anticipated. So seeing this trailer,
I know
got a
they
lot
just
of
wasting
people
fans'
very
time,
excited indeed.
taking forever
and
to
then
make
2009,
make
another
two.
trailer was released where we saw Jade sort of running the streets here, parkouring her way around. And a very cool looking footage at the time.
Of course.
That gave us a glimpse of the tone and maybe the graphics fidelity you could have expected back in the day.
Also, let's not forget, Ubisoft is really great. I'm gonna say this, they are fucking great at making trailers. Gameplay trailers, they are fucking great at making those damn trailers. I kid you not. Go back and watch some Assassin's Creed trailers, you'll be like, God damn, this trailer's hype. And then you play the game and it takes forever to beat.
The kind of action set pieces we can expect. Very cool looking. I remember
so
this.
I'm pretty sure they scrapped
released,
this gameplay because
jumps onto this
from what Young said, they
helicopter here and
back in
flies away, and
so this
just a
doesn't
very cool
exist
looking
no
piece
more.
of footage. All of this has been scrapped.
Yeah,
it was just a year later, on August of 2009, that it would be reported that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is on hold. So already rough
on
tidings
hold,
ahead,
quote unquote. We get rid
not
of it.
going well. Though months later, on January of 2010, Ubisoft would insist that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development. Ubisoft confirms the title has not been canceled. And then a couple months after that, on August of 2010,
it's not canceled. It's just that
CEO
we're
Yves Guillemot explained at the
taking our
time that
precious time.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 must be perfect,
set.
that they just want to really take their time with it. And he continued by saying that Michel Ansel's intention is to come out with something really exciting, but everybody needs a little bit of patience. Well, a little bit might be underselling just the amount of patience.
A little bit is way,
the following year in
way
2012,
beyond
Ubisoft had to remind folks again that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is in fact in active creation and active development, but Ubisoft couldn't commit to a 2013 launch because they just needed
also, this is the time when Ubisoft was just putting anything that was randomly out. I don't know. Like, well, let's go check. Let's go check something. So yeah, let's see here. This is what they had for that 2013. Rayman Legends, Black Flag, The Blacklist, Far Cry Blood. They had all these games coming out right here. And of course, there's no Beyond Good or Evil or nothing hearing about the list. Nothing. So yeah. Yeah, that's when they was about to start getting all greedy and stuff. Right after that year.
Or tech, suggesting that the game might be in development for the next generation of consoles,
for
PlayStation 4,
games.
Xbox One. Another year would pass, and on July of 2014, it'd be reported that Michel Ansel started a new studio, but remains at Ubisoft, and he confirmed that he's still working on Beyond Good and Evil 2, but his attention has been split now, and given how long the development of Beyond Good and Evil 2 has taken at this point, people are like, I don't know about this development, and I don't feel like this will have a positive impact on an already very delayed
questionable everything.
Then another year would pass. On June of 2015, Kotaku would release the following article whose headline reads, "Things are looking grim for Beyond Good and Evil 2." And scrolling down, you'll find a quote from GameSpot's Tamur Hussein, who said back then that I've been told it's been abandoned in a big way. The studio has moved on. The key people from that studio that were making it moved on to other projects outside of Ubisoft. Like I said, I might be wrong on that, but I had enough of it to chase that small lead. So more rumors that there was trouble in Paradise, that development was not going well, and then yet another year would pass. On June of 2016, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot had to come out once again and say, hey guys, let me assure you that the game's still in development. It has not been canceled. It's just really taking time.
Wink, wink.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still being worked on by original creator, says Yves Guillemot. This is the exact quote. Michel is working on it, but he's doing 2 games at the same time. He's doing Wild at the same time. It's coming along, but he has to spend more time on it so we can see it faster. Referring to the development back in 2014 when Ansel started a new studio and essentially split his attention on 2 games. 4 months later, in October of 2016, Ansel himself would release his own statement about why Beyond Good and Evil 2 has taken so long to make. Scrolling down, you'll find the exact quote reported here by GameSpot. We had too many technical issues. Instead of not doing the game of our dreams, we decided to return to 2D, have fun with Rayman, basically referring to the fact that they decided to make a Rayman game first before releasing Beyond Good and Evil 2 and go back at work for Beyond Good and Evil 2 after that. We still have lots of work, but now the tech is ready and the team is fantastic. He insisted that the technological foundation has been set, and now that the technology has caught up to their ambitions with Beyond Good and Evil 2, they're actually able to make the game that they want to make instead of having to make compromises. And for a second, things got exciting because the month prior, on September 29th, 2016, Ansel had actually started to tease Beyond Good and Evil 2 through concept art that he'd been posting on Instagram. Looking at his Instagram page, you can actually still find these posts from 325 weeks ago. This is from September 27th, 2016. 2 days later, Ansel would post another concept art of this anthropomorphic creature, a humanoid shark. And then here is one more of a rhinoceros. People speculating Mamago. Now, while it was obvious that the concept art was for Beyond Good and Evil 2, Ansel didn't specifically say it was Beyond Good and Evil 2. But Ubisoft did eventually sort of decide to participate in marketing. On Facebook, they shared the artwork that Ansel posted on Instagram and posted, "If you've been waiting for news about Beyond Good and Evil, well, here you go. We're delighted to confirm that Mitchell Ansel is currently working with the Ubisoft Montpellier studio on a Beyond Good and Evil game." At long last, people thought, and then things got even more exciting the following year.
Again, see, he's like doing two things at once again, and he's splitting hairs. So he's trying to build the marketing and hype for the fans. And also, he's like putting all these concept ops, like, hey, I'm feeding the fans. Here you go, get off my back.
In 2017, and during E3 2017, we got an official announcement trailer showing brand new characters, a brand new cast, and this CGI trailer. Yes, it's CGI, but it's the most we've seen of the game, and honestly, what they're going for here, it looked pretty freaking awesome. And I mean, we finally felt like Beyond Good and Evil 2 actually existed, and like there was a possibility that it would be coming out. And the ideas conveyed here just looked genuinely really exciting. And while people expected that it'd take a while for this game to come out, especially given that on June 14th, 2017, The Verge released an article whose headline reads, "Beyond Good and Evil 2 is wildly ambitious, but it's still at day zero of development. At the very least, the project felt like it was finally real. Like, they've gone out of pre-production. Like, they've set the artistic, conceptual, and technological foundations, and like they were finally working on something." In the same article, The Verge reported that initially...
But it seems like these guys are not doing nothing but concept art and like videos and CGI trailers. That was it. They're not doing gameplay or the foundation for the game. They're just like, hey, here's visuals. Get off our back. It's kind of like, what is it? What's that other game from
was planned as a
Anthem,
sequel,
I think?
continuing the intrigue-laden story that turned the first Beyond Good and Evil game into a beloved cult
classic. This nice little
trailer.
Here you go.
Ubisoft's Montpellier studio decided to switch directions and create a prequel. The idea was to build an experience that could be enjoyed by anyone, regardless of whether or not they played the first game, which people were generally fine with as long as Beyond Good and Evil 2 captured the essence of what made the first game special and just extrapolated and expanded upon that. But it was emphasized time and again that the game is, in fact, in its early days, in early development. We actually did get to see some gameplay footage a few days after Ubisoft's E3 press conference. This was a demo that Ansel showed off, and this was uploaded on the official Ubisoft YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
And here we could get a glimpse of the ambitions that they were aiming for, how seamlessly you could roam around the world by land or air. Leave your ship sort of docked and just seamlessly fly around.
That reminds me of No Man's Sky.
Inside it and outside of it. The architecture.
Also a nice game, by the way.
Sure, the landscapes, the environments, the cities. I mean, very ambitious indeed, but the seamlessness of it all and the scale of it all definitely impressed. You can see, right, there's just one planet.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a No Man's Sky
you can
type
travel
of thing.
to other planets. You can just keep zooming out and...
I feel like that's what they were trying to go for, but they didn't know how to do it because No Man's Sky didn't even know how they do it themselves until, you know, fans in them try to help them out. Help build it for them.
The planet itself is actually moving in its own solar system.
Yeah, but this is like more like a development build.
Zooming back in, I mean, they even showed off some ship navigation and controls. You can seamlessly hop in and out, and the speed at which you can go, mighty impressive. I mean, this looks really cool, I'll be honest with you. It's still
Yeah, like I said, it's like No Man's Sky pretty much.
It's something tangible, and you can seamlessly fly out of the planet into space, and the effects of like entering the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You get the idea at this point. A very impressive demo for an early stage game. Of course, there were concerns about
I wouldn't call that an impressive demo, in my opinion. That's more like a dead
video
build
game, especially given how long it's taken just to get to this point. But there was definitely a lot of hope.
Well,
That's
right. It's the whole part.
And an official announcement to make. And then the following year during E3 2018,
but see, they didn't show off no guns. They just showed off pretty much, you know, just the area. Here you go. Look at this little pretty look. Like I say, pretty colors. Not showing no HUD, no gameplay mechanics. I'm just going to show you a space. Fly here, do this. No, I want to see actual shoot this, run here, you know, stuff like that, you know.
Got another cinematic trailer that looked something like this, and it showed more of the world, more of the aesthetics that they were aiming for. And it just looks freaking awesome, doesn't it?
Again,
except this concept has seemingly been scrapped as well. This idea for the game
Young knows this too. Like Ubisoft always know how to make good trailers. They
and man,
kings at making that type of stuff.
I'd be shocked if this game ever came out at this point. They even had some boots on the ground action gameplay that they showed off.
Yeah, oh yeah. This was one of those things. I was like, yeah, this is looking good.
Commentary and everything.
It's a key part of do is an online.
Again, this it's still giving me the Anthem vibes. Like we show you one specific type of little area, and we got like a HUD and stuff right here, but the rest of the game.
I mean, ship customization and everything they showed off here.
Yeah.
You'll need special equipment
Dogfighting.
to take on larger vessels, but your fighter ships are
I mean, genuinely, really freaking cool.
Yep. Again,
you get the idea at this point.
There you go. That's what you want to see.
Look at this.
And somehow, this they still say this is early development, even though you got this, you got gameplay, got all the stuff that people were required to see, and gamers want to see and hype about. Your game is still in early development.
2017 and 2018, they were releasing a bunch of footage in the form of development vlogs like this one, where they show things like the ship and the crew, and you had developers
again, this is marketing right here,
making this game and some of the features that players can expect. Right here, we got footage released before E3 2018, highlighting staff combat and ship maneuvers. It still, you know, looked a bit rough around the edges, but there was something there definitely, and yeah, more blogs essentially. Another gameplay update was shown off, highlighting augments, vehicles, co-op, and spyglass, and plenty of gameplay footage here. It just felt like
damn, that's getting so long.
They were making a proper game finally.
The flying vehicles. Any vehicle you see can be able to execute barrel roll. This is essential for.
And then next up, we got this footage from 4 years ago, also December of 2018.
4 years ago.
Just an entire demo walkthrough of the current pre-alpha
4 years ago
of the game.
And still to this day, early pre-production.
Or the pre-alpha build from back then. And they really, I mean, this is 26 minutes of commentary and footage. That seemed to indicate a certain level of confidence.
I barely remember this.
Even in 2019, we got a little glimpse of the game via this footage that highlighted character customization, Jade's history, and pirate concepts. And, I mean, the character models look pretty high fidelity. And yeah, they just continued to highlight more aspects of the game. They kept us updated. But then came 2020, and that's when things sort of began to fall apart, when it was reported that Rayman creator Michel Ansel quits video games to work on Wildlife Sanctuary, Though Beyond Good and Evil 2 development continues
that's a big
without
hit right
him,
there.
if reports that the project has been rebooted are to be believed, perhaps that's around the time when the reboot happened because the project is now under new leadership. Optics weren't helped by reports exposing Ubisoft's workplace of harassment, abuse, misconduct, and discrimination, with Ansel himself being accused of being abusive and engaging in disruptive practices during Beyond Good and Evil 2's development. I don't know how much of that contributed to him retiring from game development and leaving Ubisoft and leaving Beyond Good and Evil 2, if his behavior proved to be disruptive enough that they had him make a silent, quiet exit before articles expose all of the behind-the-scenes ugliness that happens within Ubisoft. From there, another year would pass and Ubisoft would once again make the same reassurance they've been making for the last 13 years since Beyond Good and Evil 2 was confirmed. Ubisoft confirms once more that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development, so it hasn't been canceled yet as far as we know. And then finally, not long ago, on October of 2022, Beyond Good and Evil 2 took the crown from Duke Nukem Forever for having the longest game development time. And the thing about Beyond Good and Evil 2 is that there is no end in sight because as Insider Gaming reports here, the game is apparently still in early development. They're still trying to figure shit out. And with reports of the game having been rebooted, I would expect that it's going to be a couple more years before we get yet another
released until like 2025.
Of the
like around 25 or 2026. For real.
Title. Yet another look.
Maybe 2027, maybe at the most.
On now, whatever concepts they're trying to bring to life, or whatever new version of the game might be in development.
Oh, they're trying to make it a live service game or some random crap.
Whatever the case, I'll be very curious to see if this game actually does come out at all, and if so, how long the totality of its development time will be by the time it launches. Will it be 20 years? I don't know. It's a possibility. More? Who knows? Or the project might just get killed off. So far, it doesn't seem like Ubisoft is giving up on it quite yet, but, the audience, the
I say just give it to a damn new studio.
This game
they can't figure it out.
Patience and
or you show off this gameplay.
Beyond Good and Evil 2, it's actually kind of laughable at this point how long this game has been in development and how poorly managed it's been. I do hope they commit to it and they do manage to release something that will be a worthy sequel to such a beloved series, or the first game being such a beloved title, and hopefully this can turn into a series of games.
Just think, look how many games that came out on PlayStation that was exclusive for like a year or so time, and this transition from that to PC was easy. God of War, bam, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, PS4, all that on PC now. And Beyond Good and Evil still in early access after all those years.
Can be celebrated, but for right now, I continue to be deeply concerned about the future of Beyond Good and Evil 2. When it does launch, I mean, even then, I'm concerned about whether it's going to be a good game, even because a game that goes through this kind of development hell tends to release in a very disjointed state, and who knows? It's possible they can pull it together. I mean, Final Fantasy Versus 13, that became Final Fantasy 15. That was like a 10-year development cycle. Yeah. That eventually did pull it together to launch a game that was, pretty good overall.
Yeah, it was
not necessarily everyone's favorite per se, but it wasn't this awful mess either. I wonder if Beyond Good and Evil 2 can actually pull it together. Given all the trials and tribulations that's gone through, hopefully with whatever reboot has happened and with new leadership, they can find some kind of focus, stick with a plan, and actually release a game. But until then, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on...
I still think it's going to be like 3 or 4 goddamn years or so. I'm betting 4 or 5 years again until these guys get their head out of their ass.
All of the
your game should not be in development cycles since
and whether you think there's hope for this game to release, and if it does release, for it to release,
it shouldn't be in ground zero pre-early access or alpha or whatever. You got gameplay, you got the models, you're showing off the models, you're talking about the music. How are you still in zero early development? What?
Good state. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things.
But there you go, chat. Young hitting this up with Beyond Good and Evil. I literally about to make a video about it, but this 3 hour for what's this? About 4 goddamn years later, we still in this phase, or barely in this phase, because some of this stuff is already scrapped again. Like, what? You know? Terrible, man. And of course, like I said, they building up hype for the production, but again, that, like I said, they're showing off. They are showing off the dev built. They ain't putting it in like a random person's hands to play the game. And then you show off gameplay and co-op, and it looks good. You know, this right here, this looks good for people. You know, you're showing off like a little No Man's Sky slash flying build version, and then CGI trailers, and then gameplay. So you telling me all this right here can be pretty much scrapped right now again? Yeah. Yep. And I feel like this right here and No Man's Sky was like, that's what we're trying to do. And No Man's Sky somehow figured it out, you know? And now it's taking these guys like damn near 15 plus years to put this game out. And yeah, that's way too damn long. Like, stick to the plan, you know? Get the gameplay down, get the loop, and yes, get this. Get the flying, get the speed, get more people, get more AI or whatever NPCs you need in the world. You know? There's no excuse. There's no excuses now, you know? Yeah, none. So yeah, gotta get it done, man. Gotta get it done. Yeah, like I said, those allegations from Ubisoft they tore them up. That's all I can say. Oh man, but there you go. Beyond Good and Evil still in early development after 15 years. Oof. But there you go. YongYea, Legendary out. See you next time.